Welcome to week 5 of EME 5602. To get us started, I would like to make some final comments on week 4 and then give you guys an overview of what is coming up this week. In week 4, we have been discussing quite intensively about fair use and copyright. I have seen a lot of very good posts from y'all. Let me make a few final remarks to wrap it up. First is my observation. I'm really pleased to find that the number of postings using reference lists has increased substantially. Although this is not mandatory, reference the materials that you use is always a very good practice. This is actually a very good indication that the discussion has raised our awareness of fair use. Many misusage and violation of fair use and copyright is because of ignorance. So it is very important for us as creators and consumers to be aware of and also cautious about this issue. For those of you who are educators, I would encourage you to bring this idea to your students and have them exposed to this idea at an early age. I also noticed that a lot of people commented on the ambiguity nature of fair use and copyright. Unfortunately, this is a question that I cannot even answer. The borderline between fair use and unfair use is actually very blurry. Just like Nick's example I've shared, I don't think there's anyone to blame. When dealing with online materials in this digital world, things can get really complicated. We might not even know who the author is, or the author just doesn't care about how other people share their work. So therefore, I think efforts like Creative Commons license is very beneficial. It helps authors to clearly articulate how they expect the audience to share the work and also help the audience to know what they are supposed to do. To some certain extent, this also encourages sharing because it is less risky compared to using some random resources we found online. In this course, we will be creating many visual products, so I encourage you to get at least one Creative Commons license for your work and get a taste of it. So this week, we will be expanding our readings beyond the instructional design world. The idea of usability testing originated in user experience research in the communication field. But first, I encourage you all to watch the user experience design basics mental model video, which will help you to set up a general idea of what is usability testing and why it is important. Although it is from a different discipline, you should find this related to a lot of instructional system design principles and processes we have learned in other courses. You will also find various resources about usability testing. Feel free to skim through them and get a sense of what are the necessary steps for doing usability testing. Last but not least, you will find 3 journal articles from Ishak, Zenwinger, and Lacoro. All 3 articles are a very good example about how to document the process of usability testing and how to report the result of usability testing. I recommend you guys to read at least one of the articles carefully. This week's main focus is to start to conduct your usability testing. The assignment will not due until next week, but I have already released the description and instructions so you can get a head start. The assignment has 2 folds, an informal usability testing with someone outside of our class and a period critique. I encourage you to start to work on the usability part this week. Find someone, it can be a friend or a family member, as long as they can spare 10 to 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be very formal because this is going to be our first trial of usability testing. But I do encourage you to record and document this conversation either via phone or Zoom or just taking some notes, however you're comfortable with. This is not a mandatory task for this week, but if you start to do this week, it will help you a lot and make your next week a bit easier. With that being said, good luck with your usability testing, and I'll see you guys on discussion board.